All right, welcome back to Tech Tip Thursday as we continue our journey down the I3 and I3 troubleshooting. Today we're talking about our high voltage diodes, which are in front of our magnetrons. And here I've got a new one and a used one. And we troubleshoot these using a 9-volt battery. Now my 9-volt battery is a little tired, so it's not going to be quite as accurate as usual, but it does help us get where we need to go. So first, we have our multimeter set to DC as we're measuring this in DC. And if you're wondering, AC has the squiggle, DC has the straight lines. That's the easiest way to remember, because remember AC is a current, like an alternating current, DC is direct current. So in this case, and of course my leads are being a giant pain in the butt, kind of get them out of the way. We are going to start by pulling one of these aside, and if we go through, and we're going to create a little itty bitty circuit here quick. So a little easier if you have alligator clamps, but I do not. So one side of your multimeter goes to the one side of the diode, one side of the battery goes to the other side of the diode, maybe, and then you should be able to set that on there. And we have 0 volts. That's okay, because remember the diode stops voltage in a certain direction. So if we flip it over, now we'll see we have negative 3.8 volts, which is good. So this one actually is a little tired, but it's testing correctly. So we grab a freshie, do the same thing. Now we should see, whoop, come on. In this case, we are getting 4.3 volts, and then if we flip it over, we should get 0. And we do. So if you have a little bit, if you have a multimeter with a wider range, you'll see a little bit more activity on that. But that's what you're looking for. You want to see voltage in one direction and not the other. And then on top of that, you also want your voltage to be about half of what that 9-volt will test at. So you'll see anywhere between like 3.8 to 4.1, somewhere in that range. What a bad one will usually look like is you'll either see the full voltage of 9 volts coming through, or you'll get voltage in both directions, and then you know you have a bad diode. So the way diodes work in this case would be if you had a bad diode, you'd be getting low amps on one specific side, and usually that would be associated with like a buzzing. Now I do recommend testing these before you put them in. They bounce around in your truck for a while, so it never hurts to test stuff, especially stuff that you can test quickly. So it's always good to have a 9-volt battery in there with your multimeter. Makes troubleshooting a lot easier. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I think next week we're going to be going over testing a high voltage capacitor. So thank you. We'll see you next time.